I know that my brain is dumb in the morning, I don't schedule high impact tasks for the morning. Hey squirrels, welcome to AvyHD, where ADHD isn't some clinical diagnosis, it's just life. I'm Avy, your always honest tour guide through this beautiful mess. Over here, we're not about fixing yourself. We're about figuring out how to actually enjoy your life as you are. So grab a snack and let's go. Hey squirrels, welcome back to AvyHD, where we talk about running a business, a life, and a brain that doesn't always fit the standard operating model. Today, we are diving into something that changed my entire approach to planning, to my life, to the way I understood myself, and I'm not exaggerating. It is called rhythm mapping. If you have ever said, I know my energy comes in waves, I just don't know how to plan around it, this is for you, because that is exactly what rhythm mapping helps you do. It's the planning that helps you stop fighting your energy and start working with it. You know, we are all about stopping the fight and starting the flow over here. So let's just jump right in, because I'm feeling itchy today. And let's talk about what this is. What is rhythm mapping and why does it work? Rhythm mapping is the process of tracking your natural energy, not your schedule, not your responsibilities, not the external constraints of your life, but your actual energy rhythm. And this is really hard to do. Okay. It is noticing the peaks and the dips in your focus, in your creativity, in your patience, in your stamina throughout the day and throughout the week. And this is going to look different for men and for women. Men tend to run on a 24-hour circadian rhythm, and women run on a longer 28-day hormonal cycle. It's just generally different, and presumably it's different for individuals as well. So, but it's so magic. And the magic of it is that once you know your rhythm, you stop setting yourself up for failure. Right? Like if I know that my brain is dumb in the morning, I don't schedule high impact tasks for the morning, because I would be setting myself up for failure. You stop scheduling deep work during your brain's like, no, sleepy time hours. You stop forcing social calls when your social battery is empty, right? Like you stop resenting your calendar, and you stop resenting the people around you, and you stop resenting your obligations, because now it works with your body and it works with your brain. And why does it work so well? Because you're not a robot. Your brain isn't a robot. You're not designed for linear 9 to 5 productivity. You're not designed for press the button, turn on and go, especially if you're neurodivergent, if you're ADHD, autistic, or you're just not built for monotony, or you're a complex thinker. Your focus fluctuates. Your interests fluctuate. You get high bursts of energy and focus, followed by like pits of despair that feel like you hit a wall. And most systems tell you to push through. Rhythm mapping says, why push through the wall when you could just schedule around it? It's not laziness, it's strategy. You are learning the music and the rhythm of your body and not trying to rewrite everything from scratch to fit something that's maybe not even your idea of what you want. So let's take it step by step. How do we track our energy peaks and dips? What the hell does that even mean? So here's how you start. And it doesn't require a spreadsheet or a PhD in biohacking. It just requires a little bit of attention and mindfulness, meaning presence in the moment. So the first step is observe yourself for 5 to 7 days. You are not judging yourself. You're just noticing. And every 2 or 3 hours, try and jot down, what's my energy level? 1 to 10. What's my focus level? 1 to 10. And what is my mood? Am I positive? Am I neutral? Or am I low? No judgment. This is just information gathering. Scientists are not judgmental. They just gather the data, right? You can do this in a notes app. You can do it in voice notes. You can do it with ChatGPT, or you can use a template from our Flow Day blueprint if if you wanted to use the structure that works for me. Once you've observed, the second step is to identify the patterns. Okay? So after about a week, review your notes. And don't do it throughout the week because it doesn't matter, right? We're just collecting information. At the end of the week, review your notes and you'll start to see your natural peaks. Maybe at like 9 to 11 a.m., you're focused and creative. Maybe 2 to 3 p.m. is a dead zone. Um, Evenings, you might have another peak. You might be high energy again. You might completely crash. A lot of people are shocked by how predictable their rhythm actually is once they look at it. And then you label it because we love color coding here. The third step is to label it. I noticed, I observed, I identified patterns. Now I label. You can use color coding or symbols if it helps, or emojis or whatever makes you smile. Green is a high focus zone or a smiley face, whatever. Yellow is mid energy. That might be for like admin, routine work, stuff that's kind of going to be a little bit blah, blah anyways. And then red is low energy. That's where we need to recover and that's where we need to recharge. And just fill up your battery so that it keeps working in your favor, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. Even your phone needs charging. Even robots need to be turned off and back on. Yeah. And once you label everything, you can literally see where you should do your deep work, your social calls, your errands, your rest. Once you see that, now you can align your calendar. Okay. Take your rhythm map and overlay it on your actual schedule. And you'll probably realize that the meeting that you despise and you cannot stand, it lands right in your crash zone, right? Or the creative work happens at 4 p.m. when your brain logged off at 2 p.m., right? So you're not setting yourself up for success there. You're going to see stalls. You're going to see stagnation. And once you see it, you almost can't unsee it. It can start to shift. You can start to shift it. Even moving something by 30 minutes can change the trajectory of your whole day. I noticed that my energy dip happened like 2 to 4 p.m., but like 3 p.m. was just the freaking worst. And I was so tired at 3 p.m. And then I pick up my kids from the bus at 4 p.m., which means that they were kind of basically getting the shittiest version of me possible. And what I noticed was I wasn't able to do anything at that time. So what ended up making sense was going to the gym in that window. Filling that window was something that like I work with a trainer, so I would have to go. And I absolutely dreaded it. It freaking sucked. 3 p.m. was the worst time of the day. I was already my most tired. I was my most blah, blah. And like, just not my best. And then I was talking to my business coach and she said, what if 3 p.m. is not the worst time of the day? What if it's the best time of the day? Like, are you trying to tell me that I can change my mind about what it is? And I was like, okay, this is just what I'm doing now. 3 p.m. is the best time of the day to go to the gym. And I didn't really define to myself or define to my mind what that meant. I just said 3 p.m. is the best time of the day to go to the gym. And I started going to the gym at 3 p.m. and eventually, much faster than I anticipated, 3 p.m. became the best time of the day to go to the gym because it was my absolute lowest point in the day. And I was forced to go and move my body and expend energy, which meant that I was coming back refreshed and a much better me for my kids. The rhythm of my day, my own energy told me that. And if I hadn't paid attention, I would never have made that critical shift, which has massively improved my energy overall. And let's talk about some common mistakes that people make when they're trying to work with their energy, okay? Because it sounds very like fluffy and very woo. So when people try to work with their energy and end up frustrated, they're probably making one of 4 big mistakes, okay? Mistake number 1, overcomplicating it. They build a massive system. They have charts. They have trackers. There's 17 colors. They're tracking their macros and their micros and their micros and like they're biohacking this and that, and then they never use any of it. Your rhythm map should fit in your life. It doesn't need to be a whole new job. You don't need to learn everything about everything and know everything there ever was to know about energy and rhythm and flow. No, don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. Mistake number 2 is expecting every day to look the same. Your energy isn't static. Hormones, sleep, stress, weather, the people around you, your annoying spouse, they all affect you and they all affect your energy. So instead of locking yourself into my peak is always 10 a.m., treat it as a pattern, not a prison. This is an option. This is a pattern that we've recognized, but give yourself the wiggle room that you need. Not every day is the same, and it doesn't mean that you failed. Mistake number 3, using rhythm mapping to avoid discipline. Oh my good grief. I am so guilty of this. This one is a little subtle. You could kind of start saying, I can't do it now. It's not on my energy bank. I'm not at my best right now. This really isn't my best focus time. That's not rhythm mapping. That's avoidance with a fancy name and like a cute hat on. The goal isn't to only work when you feel like it. Okay? It's to place your hardest tasks where you'll get the most return on your effort. All we're looking for is ROI. I'm investing energy and effort. I want the highest return on that. So if 2 p.m. is always rough, don't try to write a book at 2 p.m. You can knock out admin, you can fold laundry, you can review emails, you can approve content, you can do a myriad of things. Mistake number 4, forgetting recovery time. Y'all, we think we'll use our peak hours to go hard, but every high focus block needs a counterpart. It needs a downbeat. That's where the rhythm part comes in. Yeah. You can't sprint without the exhale. If you're going to go hard during your peak blocks, you have to go hard on rest during your recovery blocks. So like, let's get a little more specific here. Okay. How can rhythm mapping help you get more done in fewer hours? And here's where it really gets fun, because here's where it starts to pay off. When you start aligning your work with your rhythm, you'll realize that you can do way more with less effort, because suddenly you're not forcing focus. You are like surfing the waves. I'm not a surfer. I have terrible balance. But you're not burning out by 3 p.m. You're recovering before the dip even hits. When 3 p.m. hits, I'm going to the gym. I don't even have time to get the 3 p.m. sleepies. And if it, by the way, happened at 2 p.m. that I got the 2 p.m. sleepies, it's okay, because 3 p.m. gym time is coming. Your brain learns, oh, she respects my signals. Cool. I'll show up when it's go time. I'm going to get the rest I need. It's similar to when you are not feeding your body the fuel that it needs. It starts to hold on to fat. It starts to hold on to calorie stores. It starts to like treat you like a camel because it doesn't know when it's going to be fed next. That's the same thing here. I don't know when I'm going to get rest next. I don't know that I'm going to show up all in when it's time for go time, because I'm trying to conserve resources. But if I respect my brain signals, then it can show up when it's time. And that's super cool. For a lot of my clients, it feels like they're turning the lights back on. They're not working harder. Oftentimes they're working less, actually. They're just working when they work best. And that's how you go from 10 hours of chaos to 6 hours of flow. And you can keep those extra 4 hours to do other stuff. You don't have to be at your peak productivity all the time. There's plenty of things that we need to do in our everyday life that don't require maximum productivity. You're not optimizing actually for productivity. You're optimizing for presence. And when you're in sync with your rhythm, you end your day satisfied and not drained, which means that tomorrow can be a more productive day. Let me give you a real example about a client of mine, because I just want to know if you see yourself in this. So I had this client, and we'll call her Maya, who came to me and she was just completely and totally fried. Like, she didn't want to do anything. She was working 10 to 12-hour days. She was bouncing between client calls, admin work, creative tasks, and she felt like she was failing at all of it, which is possibly the hardest part, is feeling like you're constantly failing. So we started rhythm mapping, and within the first few days, she realized that her energy actually peaked early, like 7 to 10 a.m., but she was getting her kids out of the house, and then she moved straight into emails and errands and like the things that she needed to check off of her list. Her creative work, which needed her sharpest focus, was scheduled for later in the afternoon when she had quieter time, but she was basically running on fumes by that point. So we just flipped it. It was the illusion of needing to get the tasks checked off her list that was causing her to do the emails and the errands in the morning. But when we moved her creative work to the morning block, and then we did the calls and admin after lunch, then we wrapped up with low brain tasks like planning, voice memos, just like, tying up loose ends. Within 2 weeks, she was able to cut her workday down by 3 hours, and she got more done. She wasn't pushing harder. She was just working within her own rhythm. And especially when you run your own business, you actually have control over basically your entire rhythm. Of course, we are liable to our customers and to our clients, and we need to serve them and service them to the best of our ability. But the way in which you do that is up to you. It's your business. You don't work in a corporate. And even if you do work in a corporate, having more information is always better than having less information. The more information you have about yourself, the better you can set yourself up for success. So here is your takeaway. Your rhythm already exists. You don't have to invent it. You don't have to borrow someone else's rhythm. You don't have to learn everything there is to learn about neuroscience. You just have to listen to yourself. And if you want to try rhythm mapping for yourself before the end of the year rush throws you off your flow, I got you, as always. Grab the free Flow Day Blueprint. It walks you through exactly what we talked about today, step by step, plus a printable planner so you can start today, tomorrow, and carry your focus into December. You can download it now. It's going to be linked below for you. And if you love this episode, and if it helped you in any way, and if you made it to the end, squirrely squirrel, I'm so proud of you. You did amazing. You deserve a snack and a treat and a nice drinky. If you loved it, share it with someone whose calendar looks like chaos with a side of caffeine. They need to find their people, and we are here. We are waiting for them. Squirrels, I will see you next time. And remember, your rhythm is your power. Don't fight it. Flow with it.